Hello, welcome to Skull RPG Podcast. My name's Dwight Skull.
My name's Jacob Skull.
And today we're going to teach you how to tell your story.
What would be the best way for you to learn how to do better improv?
In your RPG game.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go to skullrpg.com/resources, you'll see a section in there called GM... let me just look exactly, get it right. It is called RPG Game Resources, and there's a game in there at the very end called Everybody is John, and it links to a article about this game called Everybody's John. We've actually reviewed it before in our game collection. We talked just different games. The reason why I love Everybody is John or Everyone is John for this sort of thing is basically everybody gets 3 obsessions. An easy obsession would be like eating candy, yelling at people, that sort of thing. The level 2 obsession would be like, throwing baseballs, running a mile, just something that's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more dangerous. And then level 3 typically for most people involves, stealing something, robbing a bank.
Killing somebody.
Something. Yeah, it's just something. It always goes dark in this game, but... What the advantage of it is it's a free game. It doesn't really take much to do. You can run it with your own gaming group as a one-off just to and you can actually pitch it like, hey, we're going to play this game just so we can all get a little bit better at improvisational skills, and it'll really help me out because this whole game is improv. There's really no real rhyme or reason whatsoever to it. You'll need some sort of slips of paper for every player so they can keep track of their own points, but also the skills that they're using. Those skills should be passed to the DM, if you will. You'll be the DM of this, so that that person's name is John. You're the real John. Everybody else is a voice or a figment of John's imagination. So how the game works, and then everybody gets it. There's a D6 involved, so really simple. You should all have one of those lying around, and then some sort of marker. We use pennies, for instance. The website says that cat food works fine, which if it was dry cat food, I imagine it would. But you need some sort of, wet cat food, probably not so much. Basically, you need something to act as like chits so that you can use them to spend and things of that nature. So the game's really simple. Everybody's trying to do their level 1, 2, and 3 thing, and as they try to do those things, it's a little bit more complex. Might require the spending of said cat food, or pennies in our case, and whoever scores the most points wins. Typically it ends when John is horribly killed, typically, at least in every time we've ever played it. And the DM is literally just improving to death the entire time. They have no idea where everything's going. The players don't know where anything is going. And it's really just a good time. It could take an hour to play. I mean, I doubt it though. I mean, in reality, it maybe takes 20 minutes. I mean,
it could last as long as your players want it to, or until you're done with it, or as short as your players want it when they kill John.
Yeah. One of the things I would do with it, is to say, hey, why don't we play this game for a couple of game sessions, and then we'll move into our real game session with it, and then just maybe make a 20-minute timer for the whole thing, and at the end of 20 minutes, you're just done, and then you move into your regular game. The advantage of that is you're going to get a lot of good experience in trying to run a game that is 100% off the rails. It's going wherever it's going. The players are 100% off the rails as well. It really will help you then when a player has a really odd request, because you'll know how to react to it because you've been playing this game where there are no rules. Like the literal rule is everyone is John and everyone's trying to take control over John, and they're trying to make him do horrible, horrible things. Now, maybe your players are nicer than mine, but so far, for the most part, like somebody's like, read every sign or whatever is the first one, but then it's like,
jump to your death. Death from a hot air balloon was one of the 3.
Yeah, I was trying to summon Cthulhu as my big 3.
Had 2 people that were arsonists one time, which was fun.
Yeah, and then you get points if someone else does what you want. So the other arsonist was cheering on the other arsonist. Needless to say, the arsonist
bidding for control to take over to still burn the thing.
To still be an arsonist to get more points. Regardless, the fun part about this is since everything is just so off the rails, when you go back into a D&D or a GURPS or any other kind of system that has rules, everything now makes a lot more sense. And so when you get a weird weird ask. It's not going to be anywhere near as weird as I want to take a nail gun to my, to my friend's face. That, like, hopefully you never hear that in a D&D game. First of all, there should be no nail guns really in D&D, but the point would be, like, everybody's John, or everyone is John, is such a great deal of coolness, because it's just anything can happen and everything does happen. And if you're wondering, like, I normally just play it as a modern game, like it's today, whatever today is for you. So if you do this in 5 years, it'll be like 2026. It doesn't really matter. And then basically somebody is John, who is a really unskilled, kind of schizophrenic, who needs to, basically be told what to do by these voices in his head.
Literally, what to do.
Yeah, I need you to walk down the street. Oh, make a roll for that. Oh my God. And so, but the fun part about it is, it really will hone your skills, and you'll be horrible at it the first game. But if you were to try it out, maybe 6 to 10 different games in a row, where you just break the ice with everyone as John for 10, 20 minutes, and then you break into your D&D or whatever RPG you're playing, I think you'll start noticing that your improv skills and reacting to anything some weird player has is literally going to be so fast and easy for you. Because, again, the weirdness that comes from D&D is typically inside of a world that makes sense. So somebody literally wanting to cast a fireball at the darkness makes a lot more sense than somebody in modern times wanting to take a crowbar to some random person they just met. It doesn't make any sense. So why so violent? Well, every time I've played Everyone is John, the game gets incredibly violent and ugly. But that said, yeah, I've had nobody ever pick like I'm gonna pick flowers for my first one. Like, I've never seen that. I've seen rob a guy, stab a guy, read a book, but I've never seen anything like nice.
One of the weirder ones I had for a 3 was building a sandcastle type thing out of rolls of money.
Right. So anyway, all I'm trying to say is, the fun part about Everyone's John, it's a free game. You can, again, go to skullrpg.com/resources, scroll down to the RPG game resources. There's also a link at the top. You'll be able to find it. And then find Everyone is John. There's the rules for it there. Go ahead and give it a try. Play it a little bit. I think you'll see that your propensity to actually deal with players' odd questions, even in a pre-made or your own custom, literally your skill in this will grow leaps and bounds just by playing, I don't even 5 to 10 versions of this. It is such a great little deal. So that's all we have for you today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for listening.
And for more resources, please go to skullrpg.com.